What is up, golf fans, and welcome back to another course review podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Hartman, here, and this is a part of the Fairways and Dreams podcast. And I want to thank you all for listening. And we continue to dive into I guess you would call it the Western Maryland region. I've gone into Pennsylvania, I've gone into West Virginia. And so now we're going to start to bleed a little bit east of where I live in Washington County and go into Frederick County. A lot of good courses there. One of my favorites is a course titled Clustered Spires Golf Club. That's the name of the golf course, Clustered Spires Golf Club. It is, if you know Frederick, it's north of Frederick, the city and downtown. Just so you know, it's only one 18-hole course there, and it is a municipal course. So keep that in the back of your mind. But let's go over the details as we give you a review, and I like to call it a very thorough review of Clustered Spires. Now, I do have to be honest, I haven't played this course this year. So take that for what it's worth. But as we always do on these course review podcasts, we're going to go into Golf Pass, look at the reviews of people that have played it very recently, and give you a glimpse of what it looks like. Here we are in the summer of 2026. Nonetheless, Clustered Spires Golf Club's architect was Brian Alt. Now, for Brian Alt, this is something that since I started doing these course reviews, I have found absolutely fascinating. So these course reviews, Brian Alt, okay, this course was opened in 1991. And I'm like, all right, Brian Alt, that name sounds familiar. So I look it up. He designed a course that I had already reviewed and played in Morgantown, West Virginia. He designed the Lakeview Golf Resort, the Mountain View course. And so I was like, okay, I knew that name from somewhere. But there was another individual who also helped design this course, Bill Love. Bill Love, okay, so I look at his courses. He has designed two courses at what's called Penn National Golf Club in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. I have played the Founders course, which he designed. I have yet to play Iron Forge, which he also designed. I'm hoping to play Iron Forge this summer. I will have a full course review on that if I get it done. But still, Brian Alt and Bill Love, the connections with these courses in the area that I've played, you can definitely see a lot of similarities between the courses. There you go, course architecture. I'm starting to get into it, that's for sure. Now, the course itself, as I said, opened in 1991. It's a par 72 course. A little bit longer than a lot of the courses that I've reviewed, 6,893 yards, and that's from the tips, just shy of 7,000. A slope and rating of 133 and 72.6. All right, so what are some of the features? Well, let's go to the website as we always do. We always read about the course and all this good stuff. Clustered Spires, established in 1991, Clustered Spires Golf Club stands as the pioneer public course in Frederick County, Maryland, spanning 185 acres of what once was a bustling dairy farm. It rests serenely along the Monocacy River, enveloped on three sides by its tranquil waters, shielding players from external distractions. The name Clustered Spires finds its origin in the distinctive sight of five ancient church steeples that grace Frederick City skyline. Enlisted with the task of crafting a premier championship golf course, renowned architects Alt and Clark embarked on a mission to fashion an experience both delightful for casual players and formidable for seasoned competitors. From the regular tees, the course promises enjoyment while stretching nearly 7,000 yards from the back tees. It presents a true test of skill. Every day, Clustered Spires upholds its legacy of providing impeccable, well-maintained fairways, greens, and unparalleled golfing experience at an unbeatable value. Discover why excellence need not come at a premium. Join us for your next round and elevate your golf journey. I also like to go to Golf Pass and see what they have to say in terms of their description of the golf course. And it's pretty straightforward. Their review is essentially Clustered Spires earns strong praise for its engaging layout featuring dog legs, elevation changes, water hazards, and bunkers that challenge all skill levels. Courteous staff, solid pace of play, and outstanding value makes his Frederick Public Course a reliable and rewarding choice. So as I said, as it said in the description, it is considered one of the best of Frederick. Frederick County has some great golf courses. I've played almost all of them. I will be reviewing almost all of them. And it is up there. I would definitely say it's up there. It's a very enjoyable course. I think this, compared to some of the other courses in the county, and if you know the topography of Western Maryland, you have two big mountain ranges, South Mountain at the very start of Frederick County that splits Frederick County and Washington County. And then you also have another mountain range that then you get into Frederick City. Once you get past that final mountain range, that is where you have, you don't have to worry too much about elevation changes. It's pretty flat. So this is an enjoyable course to walk too. If you're someone that prefers to walk, they do allow walking. They don't mind if you walk. It is long. And even if you play the white tees, it is a long golf course, but I think it's fair. That's important to me. I'm okay with hitting five irons, 6 irons, and even maybe some long irons into greens on par fours, as long as I feel that it's fair. If you're asking the everyday golfer to hit a good drive, to still have 170 yards in, and there's all these punishable hazards in front of the green, to me, that just doesn't, that's not fair. If you leave the front of the green open so that people can run the ball up and that there's nothing short that's going to be the miss is short in that instance, I'm okay with it. That's what this course is like. It's fair. Now, I will say that just like any course that you play, if you play the course prior to going there, if you have a good friend that's with you that has played the course, it is helpful. But this is a pretty straightforward golf course in terms of you can typically see the green, the lay of the land, where you're supposed to go, where trouble is. And I also want to add that one of the features is they have a really nice practice facility. I like the location and how close it is to everything in terms of where you park and where the practice green is and the driving range. Very nice setup they have there at Clustered Spires. Now let's talk about some of the accolades it's earned. In terms of the top courses in Maryland, this is per Golf Advisor. In 2016, it made the top 10. It was considered the ninth best golf course in the state of Maryland. In 2021, it fell to 20th. And in 2023, it was number 17. So it seems that every 5 years they update these. It's considered a top 20 course every single year, according to Golf Advisor. I think that's, again, it's fair. This is a fun golf course. What are the amenities? They do have a nice clubhouse. They do have a nice restaurant, good food, practice facilities that I already mentioned, but also the location. This is, again, in the northern part of Frederick City, and it's north of the city. There is a ton of stuff to do if you would want to go. And in Frederick County, in Frederick, Maryland, if you want to make a destination where like, let's go and let's just play a bunch of cool golf courses. No, it's not at a beach. It's not at a resort, but you could play some great golf courses. And this is one of them. And they were all within a 20 minute drive from if you stayed in and around Frederick City. So the location is great. It's just off of 15 North, which takes you up into Gettysburg into Pennsylvania, and plenty of golf in the area. So a lot of amenities there for sure. Now let's go into the reviews, shall we? Let's take a look at the Golf Pass reviews. Like I said, I haven't played this course this year, so I'm going to rely on those that have. And believe it or not too bad. Here's what someone said. This was as of late June. Great course, but pace of play is horrible. Great course, layout and conditions with the exception of a couple tee boxes. I love playing here and the price is fair. My only complaint, and it's the same every time, which is why I don't play here more, is the pace of play. It's always slow. This time being the worst I've seen it. Showing up to a hole and being group number 3 to a tee off is insane. 5 to 6 hour rounds are rough. So they give them a lot of accolades, but man, like that's tough. 5 to 6 hour rounds. Next, decent at hot deal prices. So this person paid about $50 per person on a hot deal. And that's something that you see a lot of here at this course. You can get those deals where they have available tee times. They're just trying to get someone to fill them, and you can get yourselves a really good deal compared to what they charge on a typical weekly rate. But they said the rough was really hard to hit out of. Tee boxes were spotty. And this is not just this are similar complaints. Okay. So listen about the rough. We're going to hear about that more. It said it took us a threesome about 5 hours and 20 minutes to play 18 holes. Normally not a big deal. The group in front of us was hitting 2 balls each and taking their sweet time trying to find their balls since they hit a lot of balls out of bounds. We invited the group behind us, a twosome, to play with us. The ranger made a point to come out to tell us it wasn't okay to have 5 in a group, but he did not want to say anything to the group in front of us, playing 2 balls each as a foursome. They said we only invited the 2 behind us because they were all at the tee box at the same time. Pretty interesting there. Also, person gave it a review of overall course is beautiful. Greens were well kept. Normal wait time for teeing off. There was a group behind us and in front of us, but we got done in 4 hours. Regular time allotted for 18 hole round. I like that there was a ball washer and a trash can every hole. Someone else says, had a perfect day on the course. The course is in great shape. They have very nice facilities and the staff was cordial. Someone else said about the rough, excellent conditions, the greens and fairways. The rough for us hackers is really too thick. It's a municipal course, not the US Open. I lost 2 golf balls in the rough just a few yards off the fairway. Makes playing less fun. All the guys in the foursome felt the same way. Then another person chimes in and says almost the exact same thing. The long, deep rough on our round, many balls off the fairway weren't found. Groups around us encountered similar circumstances, makes for a frustrating round. The Rangers should be able to find a big bucket of golf balls today. And those are just some of the reviews, and all of those are from May on. So those are very recent reviews. With the weather here in the western part of the state, sometimes we get a lot of rain. Tough to keep everything in check, and the rough might have been getting a little long. I don't know if that's still the case or not. So before we give it our overall rating out of 5 stars, let's take a look at the positives and the negatives. So the positives, it's a very playable course. It is a course that if you're hitting the ball well, and again, this is a course because of the length, you do have to hit the driver well. This is a course that if you're someone that says, I can't hit driver, I'm just going to hit 3-woods, you're going to struggle unless you're really good at hitting 3-wood, 4-iron, etc. into greens. You do have to be able to hit the driver, and you do have to be able to keep it in play, but it's a playable golf course. Location and the ease of the practice facilities is fantastic. It's generally well maintained for the amount of play. Again, a municipal golf course. This course gets a lot of play. So when you hear, in the last 2 reviews I've done, pace of play has been an issue. And that's not just the case on all courses, but on these municipal courses, it can be a big time issue. And so for me, I just want to make sure it's aware, everyone's aware it's a municipal golf course. And that is one of the reasons why. But for that, and the amount of play it does get, it is very well maintained. It is challenging, but not punishing. I think we've all probably played those courses where you're playing and you're just like, oh my gosh, this course is just relentless. Whether it's the setup, whether it's the pin placements, whether it's the speed of the greens, the length of the rough, this course is challenging, but it's not punishing. I like a challenge. I don't like to be beaten to a pulp by the time I'm done with 18 holes. And like I said earlier, it's a very straightforward golf course. I do want to say that this course hosts the western part of the state. If you ever wanted to become a teaching pro, you have to pass that physical test. I know my brother tried it twice. This was the course that held it. You had to play 36 holes in a day, no matter what the conditions were. I think my brother did it one time and it poured down rain the entire day, and they're out there walking 36 holes. Like, it's grueling, and it made conditions challenging. I want to say that my brother, I don't think many people passed that physical test that day that it was pouring down rain, but it gets a lot of tournament play. The Frederick City tournament is held at Clustered Spires Golf Club as well. So there are the positives. Now, what about the negatives? A course can be slow. It can be a long round unless you go out in the afternoon or evening. If you're trying to play in the middle of the Saturday, Sunday holiday time frame, it's going to take you some time. So allot yourself 5 hours, maybe even more. That's just the nature of the beast here at this course. The course can get beat up. A lot of the reviews on Golf Pass talked about how the tee boxes were a little beat up, greens at times. That happens. Similar to Black Rock and here in Hagerstown, Maryland, when you get that much play, it is challenging to keep up with all the nuances. Now, the tee boxes, you should be moving those tee boxes around, reseeding. There's a process there. Hopefully they can figure that out. But ultimately, the course can get beat up. When I was looking at the rates, if you want to be an adult and riding in a cart on the weekend, it's going to be about $80. And unfortunately, while I have that as a negative, that's not too bad considered how crazy the price of golf has gotten, especially in the state of Maryland and in this area. So $80 is not crazy. I did have an issue, and it's 72 if you walk, by the way. And I think that's a little much, right? You're telling me that if I want to ride 18, I pay $80. If I want to walk 18, and this is your peak rates, I'm walking 18 and it's $72. I'm going to walk and not use one of your golf carts and not use the gas or electricity that's going to be because of that. And you're only going to give me an $8 break. Come on. I feel like that's one of those. Come on. Really? But still manageable. Yes. I just can't get over these courses that charge some of these junior rates. So if you're 15 or under, that is considered your junior rate. You are not a junior rate unless you're riding with an adult. Like a riding is not an option. So if you're a 15-year-old and you get dropped off at the course to go golf, then for 18 holes to walk, you still have to pay $32. And there might be people out there that say, Jeff, $32, that's pretty reasonable. I'm sorry. When I was a kid, $32, and even for my parents, if I was going to golf, $32 was it. That's not all the time. I can't do that all the time. I feel like that's just unbelievable. I feel like if you are going to do things right and you want to charge a junior rate, give them a certain time frame that juniors can play after 2 p.m. for $15 if you're going to play, if you're going to walk 18, $20, whatever. Like it's still a little bit better than 32. If you're playing with an adult, a paid adult, juniors should be freaking free. I've said this a million times over. Junior golfers, I think that's anywhere from 18 and under, should be free. Let them play for free. Get them on the golf course. Encourage them to go on the golf course. Why are you charging so much for juniors to walk your golf course? I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. We did a course in Frederick County not too long ago, if you think back to that course review, where they charged almost $70 for a junior to play 18 holes. What are you trying to accomplish? To me, you're trying to accomplish the fact that you don't want juniors on your golf course. And I think that's a really, really bad place to be when you're thinking about trying to promote and grow the game. So I have that as a negative. And again, negatives, it's a typical municipal course, the typical issues that come with a municipal course. It's not going to be as well kept. It's not going to be as manicured. Sometimes the people that handle the course are not necessarily golf people. Now, I'm not saying this is the case in Clustered Spires, but when you look at municipal golf courses, more often than not, that is the trend. You just have these people that are their employees. They're there. They know how to do their job, but they're not necessarily golf people. And there's a difference between the two. And if you know, you know. And if you've worked in the golf industry, you definitely know. But those are the only negatives. So what's the rating? Out of 5, I give it a solid 4. I give it a solid 4. I think that this golf course, I like how they've tried to keep it manageable from a price perspective. It's a course that is, it's long. It's one of the longer courses that we have in our area if you want to play the tips. But ultimately, I think this course is a really great course. I know I just finished talking about the negatives, but the positives far outweigh the negatives in terms of this golf course. I would recommend Clustered Spires to anyone. It's a fun course. If you are playing a scramble, it's a fun scramble course as well. Clustered Spires Golf Club in Frederick, Maryland. If you're in the area, play the course. I think you'll really like it. I think you'll leave saying, that was a fun round, and you'll really have no idea how close you are to the city and everything like that. It's a great course. Go check it out, Cluster Spires Golf Club, and that is 4 out of 5 stars. It's pretty solid rating. I've gone up to 4.5, never had a 5-star experience. We'll have to continue to search for that as the least traveled golfer as I am. But that does it for me on this latest golf course review. I'll be back next week on another podcast talking about the latest and greatest in the game of golf. In the meantime, we finish up. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Take it easy.